The takeaways so far from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the United Kingdom. We are being joined by Ambassador Dilip Sinha. He is former Indian ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva, and he also served as Indian ambassador to Greece. And also joining us is Manish Singhal. He is the Secretary General of ASSOCHAM. That echoes the voice of the Indian industry. Such a pleasure to have the two gentlemen here on DD India News Hour. Ambassador, beginning with you. How is the landmark India-UK FTA called CETA a game changer for India-UK bilateral relationship? I'm not getting into the specifics of trade in goods and services or the movement of professionals here, but generally for the bilateral relationship, do you think that it will act as a glue in this relationship and will take the relationship to unprecedented heights?
Yes, it is, because as Prime Minister Starmer himself said, it is for the UK the biggest trade deal the UK has concluded after Brexit. So after Brexit, Britain has been looking around for partners to make up for the loss in trade and the economic relations that it had with the EU partners, while it has been trying to stabilize its relations with the EU itself. So in this, coming back to India and making India its most important partner is a kind of a throwback to the Commonwealth days when India-UK had very close relations. And then in the 1970s, as UK moved towards Europe and the European Union, our relations took up a slight backseat. So that is now coming back. And it's a very healthy development because UK is already one of India's largest trading partners. It's also an economic partner because of the investment that both countries have. And this relationship now comes at a time when India itself has become a major economic power in its own right. So now it's a partnership that is more equal than it was, let us say, when India was part of in the pre-EU days, when India and UK had relations as part of the Commonwealth relations. So to that, in this sense, it's a coming together of these two countries that were at one time very close to each other. And now they are coming back because as major economies, looking forward to the new turbulent times that we have in the global economy.
Absolutely. That's a very different way of putting it. We'll come back to how this relationship is now moving back from strength to strength after a hiatus of the previous decades in a bit. But before that, Mr. Singhal, how is CETA a win-win for both economies of India and the UK and also their people in terms of much more market access, nearly 99% to 100% in some cases, incomes, affordability, mutual growth and jobs? And which sectors do you think stand to gain the most, if you could put all of that into perspective for us?
See, I think this has been quite a comprehensive FTA because not only some sectors, especially our manufacturing sectors, which are big employers also in India. You know, you talk of leather, gems, jewelry, pharma, garments, textiles, all these sectors would get a fillip. Even some of our agriculture produce, including millets, get access to that market. While on our end, we have obviously drawn red lines on other agriculture products to come into India for obvious reasons. Likewise, you know, when you look at some of the services part, we get very good access to the UK market. Anyways, you know, historically, I think almost 50% of our exports have been of services. But now with UK accepting a waiver for up to 3 years of temporary work into UK for social security contributions, that's, I think, a big win for India because it allows Indian services to become more competitive. And in a way, it's a win for UK also because UK gets access to more competitively priced Indian services. And, you know, earlier this social security contribution was just, you know, not coming back either to the employee which is working there or to the government of India or to the employer. So I think both services and merchant exports get broadly covered, and there are clearly delineated rules of origin norms. There are also IPR protection, and we are, of course, we've agreed to remove a lot of non-tariff barriers which would make trade easier. So it's, I think, just building on the historical relationship India and UK have had, the strong people-to-people connect India and UK have had. We are just building on, and I'm quite confident that in the next 5 years we will probably more than double the trade, as also seen by our Prime Minister and the Commerce Minister.
Absolutely. That's the target that we have set for ourselves, that in the next 5 years, that is by 2030, we'll double the trade from around $60 billion now to $120 billion then. Well, Ambassador, Vision 2035 was launched as the roadmap for the next decade in areas of technology, defense, climate, education, and people-to-people ties. A lot is happening in all the spheres, particularly in the last few years. What can we expect in each of these areas going forward?
Well, this agreement is extremely important for us because this is the first agreement that we have with the three major trading partners that we are currently negotiating with. One is the EU and the other is the US. And
no, I'm talking of the Vision 2035 here. But you can also speak on the FTA and then come on Vision 2035, if you will.
Well, as I said, in this case, the fact that the India-UK economies are very complementary, and they complement each other in certain ways in which we do not fear as much from the FTA as perhaps we do with the US economy because of the agriculture factor that comes in, and also with the EU because of other factors. So here, the opening up that's taking place with the UK as part of this vision document that we have joined the UK with, it enables India to open up its economy to the Western countries in a progressive way, so that the economy opens up without too much harm to itself, and it becomes more competitive. And that is extremely important because the UK agreement and the vision document will become the template for the other two trade negotiations that are taking place currently with the EU and the US. And here the fact that we have come to an agreement with the UK on issues like social security contributions, on permissions for our workers to go there. And we are also discussing the other two areas that the UK is very closely interested in: financial services and legal services in the Indian market. So all these are areas that are now steadily opening up, and we get a partner country with whom we feel a little more comfortable opening up than perhaps with the others. So that's a very good way of opening up our economy and making it more competitive.
Okay. And there is also Vision 2035 that has been exchanged or endorsed in a sense, Ambassador Sinha, and it has various pillars like technology and innovation is one of them, defense and security is another, climate and clean energy is another, education is another, people-to-people ties are also part of that. So do you think that this is a relationship that is becoming comprehensive over time, and there is a lot of promise here, and time now would be to deliver on those promises, and the proof of the pudding would be in the eating, would you say?
Yes, the UK is one of those countries where there is a very large amount of Indian investment that is taking place. UK itself recognizes that India is a job creator, and Indian investment is a job creator in the UK. Now, in this kind of an environment, collaboration in technology and the other areas that have been identified in this vision document of defense cooperation, education, and climate technology are all areas in which we can now be equal partners. And while earlier we talked only about transfer of technology, now we talk about joint development of technology and sharing technological information, as also investment. Investment flows both ways between India and the UK. UK is sixth largest investor in India. India is also one of the major investors in the UK. So it's a two-way traffic in which collaboration takes place jointly. And there the vision document identifies the sectors in which our cooperation should move forward.
Absolutely. We'll request both the guests to stay with us. We've got an exclusive conversation from India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal. My colleague Gautam Roy caught up with him. Let's listen in.